What's up, you guys? I am back with another video. So I just want to share with you guys what's being shared with me, what's being downloaded to me in regards to the temple, in regards to health, in regards to food. Okay, so I've been sharing with you guys my whole journey, basically, for the most part, you know, my journey or whatever, but so okay, you guys know that I went vegan. All right, I had stopped eating meat back in 2020 what was it, 2016. I had stopped eating meat. I had stopped eating meat for almost 2 years. And then when I moved down to Georgia and basically got back on religion, I was following the Hebrew Israelite doctrine. And me and my husband went back to eating meat. Now, we ate meat for like 6 months or so. And, you know, when we moved to the island, we went back eating vegan. And when we moved back to the island, I had told you guys, I had made that video telling you guys the significant difference between the East and the West. And so my journey, I have not been working a job. My husband hasn't been working a job. We've been living totally and truly solely off of faith, off of the Most High providing. You know, our whole living and life has just been that of faith, that of, you know, I guess you could say just set apart, but really is coming back to nature. Coming back to nature and turning away from the system, turning away from what the Most High calls Babylon, the beast system. So, okay, it was downloaded to me the other day. It was, okay, well, you know what, first, before I go into that, let me rewind a little bit. Okay, so when I made a recent video telling you guys about my cleanse, right? I told you guys that Spirit led me to basically come into this cleanse. Now, prior to coming into this cleanse, knowing about this particular mucoid plaque cleanse, me and my husband were already naturally starting to fast. So when we naturally start to fast, we know that we have to make space and room within ourselves for new light codes, new information, new messages from the divine to come in. So we have to purge, detox, and cleanse to become purified, to bring in that message, to bring in that light. And so we were already fasting, and then I told you guys I had just wanted to go to the bookstore. So we went to this particular bookstore, and I was looking for a certain type of book. It wasn't health related, but my spirit stopped me right in the health section, and I didn't even realize that I was in the health section in this bookstore. And see, with me, Spirit likes to talk to me through a book, through a whole bunch of things, but I noticed that I have a certain gift about myself, or just a type of knowing about myself. So I stood by this bookcase that had a whole bunch of books on it, and I just did a little bit of scanning, and then my hand just went to a book. It just picked it up, and I just opened it, and it read back to me like an oracle. And it was talking about a raw diet. It was talking about raw eating. I just grab another book, open it, mucoid plaque. Grab another book, open it. You know what I'm saying? All these messages were coming at me. And now I'm seeing the outward synchronicity of the full message, even though I already knew it, but these outward things were just confirmation. It is a new awakening happening and going on right now, and that is to know the one true living God again, and that's nature. To have that harmony and balance again within ourselves and in the earth. The earth is ready to heal, shift, and change. And we heal. As we heal the earth. When we come back to the earth, she receives us again. The earth is our mother. The earth is our home. Our Father is the one who's in heaven, the one who's above. Okay? So, the Most High, my higher self, brought me back into that knowledge of mother. Because I share with you guys that we know so much about the Father that we know nothing of the mother. And so last night I got a revelation. This was a past memory that I had. So due to me cleansing, due to me eating raw, my memories, I can remember things from way back when. I can remember certain thoughts that I had when I first went vegan, when I first started cleansing my temple and taking my health seriously. The download was, okay, we were taken away from nature, meaning we were taken away from our mother. We have been so backwards and so far from light and truth in this world, in this society, in this matrix, that we don't know who our mother is anymore. We have a mother wound. Now today, when women go to give birth, we go to the hospital and we don't go to nature. We go to the hospital and let a stranger deliver our babies. And immediately, as soon as the baby comes out, the umbilical cord is being cut. The baby is being taken away from you to go to a table with artificial light and just strangers hovering over your child. Birth is very sacred. It's very sacred, and it's symbolic. And also, when they cut the umbilical cord, they're cutting you off from life, from love, from your mother, from the womb. It's one thing that you're coming out from the spirit world, from being incubated in your mother for 9-10 months. And then as soon as you enter into this new world, you're being abused. You have doctors touching on you. You don't know what their energy is. You don't even know them. They're not your mother. They're the first ones usually to touch your baby. And then they immediately cut that umbilical cord off. And then they keep your placenta. A lot of women don't even know to ask for your placenta. So if you don't ask for your placenta and they keep it, you don't even think of what do they do with that placenta. And so we've been cut off from our mother, we've been taken away from nature, and we've been put in an artificial world. So when the Lord say that this is Satan's kingdom, it's like, okay, this is Satan's kingdom. We all heard of that, right? And we just think Satan's kingdom is media, alcohol, drugs, the music, sex and things like that. But we don't ever think Satan is in our food. We don't ever think that, okay, Satan's kingdom is this outward kingdom, because the kingdom within is the kingdom of God. I hold in me, we hold in us the kingdom of God, but we also can hold in us the kingdom of Satan within. But an outward manifestation of Satan, of ego, of your lower self, is that of what you see in society, most of the time in a city. Burger King, McDonald's, TGI Fridays, Taco Bell, Outback Steakhouse, that's all Satan's kingdom. And I'm going to tell you why. Why is it Satan's kingdom? Because all day long, food is being shot at you. What type of food? Foods that can corrupt the body, that can corrupt the temple, that can defile your spirit. The real creator, the real God, instructs us not to eat meat. Now, I know it's going to be some controversy behind that due to the contradiction in the Bible, in Leviticus, of animal sacrificing and you being able to eat meat. However, Christ came to bring life, and life everlasting, life more abundant. Life is not in dead flesh. Life is not in dead flesh. See, when we eat meat, when we eat animals, animals do not regenerate themselves like that of fruit and vegetables. Fruit and vegetables carry seeds, and those seeds are what carries and recycles life to make more life, more life, more life, and life abundantly. When you cut open a melon, and a melon, like a watermelon, a cantaloupe, a honeydew melon, is so many seeds. It's so many seeds. A papaya is so many seeds. That's life. That's life. And that's light. So, God, the Most High, the Creator, is calling us to be light right now in this time. To be light. So we can absorb life and light. So when you hear people say light codes and downloads, we get that from the sun, but we also get that from the food that we eat. The living food, raw foods. Raw food that grows from the earth, that's organic, and that is hit by the sun to give it its nutrients, its information that we eat, that we ingest, and then our minds are awakened and our eyes renewed. We have to cleanse and purify thy vessel, our vessel, in order to be light, to receive life and to hold light and to become crystallized light beings as Christ. Nature provides everything that we need. And when we turn away from nature, we're turning to an artificial, inorganic way of being. That's why we must repent and return back to her. Eating things of the land. Taking care of one another. Loving one another. Honoring animals. Honoring all life. All life. Now, people can try and justify their spirituality when it comes to them eating animals. But taking life is not righteous. And I don't care how you try and honor that life. Taking life is not in a righteous sense. Especially that of a loving animal. Animals were not created for our consumption. And you want to know why? Because when you eat steak and things like that, it's very tough to chew. Even when you cook it to be raw, with a little pink on the inside, it's still hard to chew. And so if it's hard for your mouth to chew it, your teeth, your mouth mechanics to crunch it and grind it down, how do you think that is doing on your digestive system, that mechanical system? It takes so long to break down, and then your bowel is sluggish. Your energy is sluggish. Your bowel is not flowing. It's moving real slow when you go to boo-boo, or you're constipated. It's clogging you up. It's backing you up. So what do? You go run to a cleanse. You go run to an apple. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. You go run to tea, to herbs. Now you're running to nature because now you have came into a problem. But you still run back to what's causing the problem. Or how a lot of our people, you encounter a problem, a health problem, and then you go to the doctor, which does not respect the laws of nature, nor probably knows the laws of nature. Because if you knew the laws of nature, you wouldn't be a doctor in this beast system society. Now, don't get me wrong. When things get way out of hand, yes, that's when we go to the hospitals and things for things that we can't handle ourselves, like a gunshot wound or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, you are the governor of your own health. You are the governor of your own health. Health is supposed to be in your control because this is your body, this is your temple. And nobody can tell you better than you. And Christ gave us instructions on how to maintain and achieve and possess health, life, and peace. And that all comes from a multitude of things. It's not just what we eat, but it's also our relationship to nature, our environment. So this whole outward world, its back is turned against nature. This society has corrupted us in a way that we have become so far from God, so far from ourselves, so far from nature and that of the truth, that yes, we have accepted a lie, and we love the lie. The lie is KFC. The lie is Popeye's chicken. It's deceptive. Religion is deceptive. And you want to know why? This is another download I got. So, when we have a problem, we run to the church. For most people, you run to the church. You run to the church house because you think God dwells there. You think God is there. However, God, see, you got to understand this too. A lot of books have been taken out of the Bible. However, in the Bible, you can still find certain scriptures that will lead you back to nature. And so, when you read in Genesis, and when God was creating, and He created the herbs, the earth, the trees to produce fruit. Trees that bear every kind of fruit that you can imagine. That's life abundant. That's how it was naturally, intentionally designed in the beginning. That's what you call the Garden of Eden. A garden. What grows in your garden? Fruit, vegetables, flowers, herbs. Okay. Do pigs grow in your garden? Do birds grow in your garden? Does these things grow from the earth or grow from the trees? No. These animals were created and placed here just like we were. So when we take upon animal flesh and in the manner that they were killed, it doesn't matter if you honor their life in a ceremonialistic way, it's still death. You're still killing life. You're killing life. And you're putting that in your body. So, okay, let me go on to this book. Cleanse and purify thyself, and I will exalt thee to the throne of power. So going back to this outward world being Satan's kingdom, listen here. Look, when you eat all these foods of man's kingdom, you become sick. You become all these things. And then you go run to man's systems, the hospital, the doctor's office. What do? They prescribe you with something to cope the symptoms, but nothing to heal. So you get a prescription wrote out, then you go to the pharmaceutical industry, another system, and you get this medication. And this medication is what's killing you. You take these certain type of pills that say it's for this and it's for that. But do you ever look at the ingredients? What's in it? Herbs, right? Supposedly. Fruit, right? Supposedly. So why don't you just eat from the source to get your health? Stop and ask yourself, why am I not in health? Why am I not in my best and optimal well-being? What's blocking me? What's stopping me? What's stopping from nutrients to be absorbed, minerals to be absorbed within my body so my hair can grow, so my nails can grow, so my skin can be clear and so it can thrive? What's the block? What's the barrier keeping me from that? So in this book, it talks about the mucoid plaque cleanse, and it talks about a whole bunch of stuff actually. But it talks about heavy metals, toxicity, a whole lot of stuff, you guys. But in particular, this is what I wanted to share with you guys, and I'm going to read from it, and it's going to connect a lot of dots. So as I said before, things were taken out of the Bible. Books were taken out of the Bible. So that was another journey that propelled me to come into this knowledge that I'm in now, into this awareness, into this wisdom. Because even in the Bible, when it say that the enemy has forged a lie against me, that goes deep. That's why you have to meditate to receive messages from God, messages from the divine. And when you pray, that's you communicating, that's you having a conversation with God. But when you meditate, when you become still, when you just be silent, that's when something can speak to you. Okay? And then you have to use your own discernment to discern, is it you? Is it the Most High, or is it your lower nature, which is your ego, which is Satan, which is that darkness? Okay? So let me read this to you guys. Okay? So it's kind of a lot to read, but I'm going to read it. But the book that he's quoting from is from the Essene Gospel of Peace. Okay? So I'm going to just read this part right here. This chapter is chapter 4, Unveiled Mysteries of Health and Healing. As all creatures come forth from the unseen into this world, so they return to the unseen, and so will they come again till they be purified. And that's Jesus of Nazareth. So this is a quote from Candace B. Pert, PhD. It says, mind doesn't dominate body. It becomes body. Body and mind are one. So this chapter right here is talking about how our thoughts and feelings cause health or disease. Our mind, our thoughts, our emotions. Okay? So I'm going to just read to you this right here, what it says. Thoughts and feelings not only stimulate and control our glandular systems and influence all the cells in our bodies, but they also solidify into our bodies and minds in a way that either brings forth congestion or circulation, good health or disease. So the writer says, I am attempting to impress upon the minds of my readers that the mind is truly the key to health and to disease. It is always a distortion of the mind that causes people to commit harmful acts against themselves and others. Smoking, using drugs, and becoming intoxicated from drinking alcohol are obvious examples. As I said, the way we eat is also controlled by the mind via the subconscious mind, and we may suffer according to foolish and uncontrolled desires. People should be asking themselves how they become the way they are, how they created their problems. Seek within. Look for the cause with no blame or guilt. And as we inquire from within, we soon realize that we are indeed subject to certain universal laws which do described in acceptable terms. Consider the words of Master Jesus, whom well-known sayings include the following: Ye shall pay even the last penny, and that which you sown shall you also reap. And according to your faith, it is done unto you. Most of us are affected by the past more than the now. Thoughts and feelings of the past constantly exude into our brains, bodies, and environments, producing the cause behind the cause. Man may be unjust, but nature, God, is not. If we are not satisfied with our minds, bodies, and conditions in our lives as they are, we must cleanse and purify and sin no more. I'm about to quote from the Gospel of Peace of Jesus Christ by the disciple John, which is one of the most interesting books about health that I ever read. It is full of wisdom and truth. My comments are in italics and brackets, and bold-faced treatment is mine. For emphasis, after reading this, you may think that it is a prophecy of the 20th and 21st century. I tell you, unless you follow the laws of your mother, you can in no wise escape death. And he who clings to the laws of his mother, talking about earth, Mother Earth, to him shall his mother cling also. This is what the writer wrote. Perhaps we should take better care of Mother Earth. So I'm going to pause right there. What is man doing to Mother Earth right now? And has been doing? Cutting down trees, going out hunting animals, capturing animals to put them in zoos, taking the oil from the earth, corrupting the soil, corrupting the oceans, corrupting everything. Okay? That's what man has been doing to earth. Raping her, robbing her. She shall heal all his plagues, and he shall never become sick. She gives him long life and protects him from all afflictions, from fire, from water, from the bite of venomous serpents. For your mother who bore you keeps life within you. She has given you her body, and none but she heals you. Happy is he who loves his mother and lies quietly in her bosom. For your mother loves you, even when you turn away from her. And how much more shall she love you if you return to her again? I tell you truly, very great is her love, greater than the greatest of mountains, deeper than the deepest seas. And those who love their mother shall never desert them. She shall never desert them. As the hen protects her chickens, as the lioness her cubs, as the mother of her newborn babe, so does the earthly mother protect the Son of Man from all danger and from all evils. So when you go out in nature, don't you feel a sense of peace, of calm? When you walk barefoot on the grass, don't you feel like more life is flowing through you? When you go hug a tree or sit under a tree, don't you feel love? Aren't you becoming healed? Is this why they always wanted to keep us from nature? Is this why they always want you to go to a doctor and go to the church and not ever towards nature, not ever to nature? For I tell you truly, evils and dangers innumerable lie in wait for the sons of men. Beelzebub, the prince of all devils, the source of every evil, lies in wait in the body of all the sons of men. Could this be the human ego, the source of discordant thoughts, feelings, and destructive desires? He is death, the Lord of every plague, and taking upon him a pleasant raiment, which may be hamburgers and coke. He tempts and entices the sons of men. Riches does he promise, and power, and splendid palaces, and garments of gold and silver, and a multitude of servants. All these he promises renown, glory, fornication, and lustfulness, gluttony, and wine bibbing, riotous living, and slothfulness, and idle days. He entices everyone by that to which their heart is most inclined. And in the day that the sons of men have already become the slaves of all these vanities and abominations, slaves to our own thoughts, lusts, desires, appetites, fears, self-pity, resentments, hates, and other habits, then in payment thereof he snatches from the sons of men all the things which the earthly mother gave them so abundantly. He takes from them their breath, smokers beware, their blood, cancer, leukemia, and other blood disorders, their bone, arthritis, osteoporosis, their flesh, eczema, rashes, leprosy, and all other matters of skin bumps and flare-ups and all these skin diseases. Their their bowels, ulcers, constipation, colitis, and cancer of the bowels, etc. Their eyes and their ears. No anyone who wears glasses or hearing aids is blind or deaf. So I'm going to stop right there. I'm still going to continue reading, but I'm going to stop right there to give my commentary. So, okay. You can even search this up online. It's scientific proof, and you don't even need science. You could just do this on your own. You be your own lab rat, right? You be your own test subject. Compare your thoughts, feelings, and emotions when you eat heavy, when you eat hamburgers and fries and chicken and steak and all these things. Look at your skin. Your gut. Is your bowels flowing? Are you constipated? Does your bowels stink? What color is it? How is it coming out? So on, so on. When you eat certain foods, do you get this white on your tongue? Are you restless? Is your mental sharp and aware, or is it sluggish? Is your energy sluggish? Are your thoughts cloudy? Is your mind cloudy? Write those things down. Note those things. Journal those things. Document those things. Create a YouTube. So then compare how your skin, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your actions even, compare how they are through a raw diet, an alkaline plant-based diet. I'm not going to say vegan because which some folks would say new age. With new age, you have all these vegan meats, these vegan substitutes. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about strictly plant-based eating of the earth, raw food, vet food. So see, I have to say it too. It's a difference between raw food and cooked food. When you cook food, it's actually taking away the nutrients that's in the food. So I'm not saying that you can't eat cooked food or cooked food is bad or it's wrong, but cooked food has its effects. It's a cause and effect to everything. So when you eat cooked food, it's an effect. When you go raw, it's an effect. And that effect is that of mental clarity, more energy. It's a gift of life. Clearer skin. You become more vibrant, more happy. Your thoughts are more clear, are more pure, are more positive. Because see, this mucoid plaque is the barrier as to why nutrition from vegetables and from fruit can't be absorbed. And so a lot of people take supplements to supplement their nutrition, but you're still not getting nutrition because you haven't addressed the root cause of the problem. You got to get to the root, always to the root. So it says, and the breath of the Son of Man becomes short and stifled, full of pain and evil smelling, like the breath of unclean beasts. How far can you run without getting out of breath? And his blood becomes thick and evil smelling, like the water of the swamps. It clots and blackens like the night of death. And his bone becomes hard and knotted, arthritis. It melts away within and breaks asunder as a stone falling down upon a rock, osteoporosis. And his flesh waxes fat and watery. Who's overweight in America? It rots and petrifies with scabs and boils that are an abomination. And his bowels become full with abominable filthiness, with oozing streams of decay. So y'all know, like Dr. Pimple Popper and stuff, all them pimples and stuff, the cysts, all those things that she be popping and they be oozing all that stuff and blood and it's pussy and it's stink. Yeah, those are abominations due to you choosing within your body how you eat, what you choose to bring into your temple. So when God say honor me and that your body is a temple, you want to put good living things in your body. You don't want to put death in your body. Because if Satan is a tempter, he's tempting you always, right? Constantly to eat against nature. So Satan is always tempting you to go out, to come away from God, to come away from purity. So if all day long stuff is being shot out at you to corrupt and defile you, that's Satan. But everything that's of God is hidden. So that's why the Lord says, seek me. Because see, in this gospel of peace, this is a book that's not in the Bible. Whether it was removed or never put in there, it's still a part of the word of God. It's still a part of words of Christ, should I say. What Christ taught. So if Christ gave you the keys and the knowledge and the wisdom of health, but society got you fat and obese and fucked up out here, then that means that you're not in the will of God. That means that you are going against nature. You're going against God for the temptation of Satan, for the temporary satisfaction of the flesh. But let's go on. It says, and his bowels become full with abominable filthiness, with oozing streams of decay and multitudes of abominable worms having their habitation there. So within your temple, based upon what you consume, you can have worms and filthiness in your body, decay in your body. So what decays in your body? Flesh, meat. How do you get worms? From meat, because it's dead, because it decays, because it rots. In that mucoid plaque is worms. So, like I said in another video, since we came out the womb, all our life we've been eating meat, fish, dairy, things like that, we have worms. We have worms, we have parasites, and those things have to be cast out of the body, of the temple. These devils, these demons have to be cast out of our body because they're unclean. The reason why Jesus could cast out devils, it was not just because of his faith, but it was because of the truth and the knowing that he had and the power that he possessed. How did he obtain this power? Through fasting, through purifying himself, through abstaining from certain things. That's how you get the power. That's how you get so much power that, yes, when somebody touched the hem of your garment, you can be healed. But it's only through purification. That's why God always wants you to purify yourself, to become clean, so you can do those things as Christ. That's why I tell y'all to become Christ. So when I say certain things like to become God, that's me saying me. This is what I'm saying. This is me coming into my God mind, my God consciousness, where I can think and know like Christ, like God. I'm a son of God, but God said I can become just like him. Not in a manner where I'm creating worlds and I'm the almighty like that, but I'm the God over my flesh. I'm no longer tempted by my flesh or by the outward world. I'm a God because I know that I can go within myself and have peace. I know that where the true peace dwells, and I have life. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean when I say that. When other people say that, they mean what they mean behind it. But this is what I'm saying when I say these things. Okay? So, it says, and his eyes grew dim till dark night intrudes them, and his ears become stopped like the silence of the grave. So it says, even in the 20th and 21st centuries, 2-year-old children suffer from stopped up ears due to use of pasteurized dairy products. And last of all shall the erring Son of Man lose life. For he kept not the laws of his mother, and added sin to sin. Therefore are taken from him all the gifts of the earthly mother, breath, blood, bone, flesh, bowels, eyes, and ears, and after all else, life. So, like I told you guys before, my father died from a rotten colon. A rotten colon. My dad did no cleanses. My dad just gave up. He really didn't even want to live no more. And it showed in his lifestyle. He stopped taking care of himself. He stopped loving himself. And therefore, he didn't care what he put in his body. And so, in turn, it caused him his life. But before it caused him his life, it was causing him heart failure. It was causing him, it was causing him all this pain and discomfort and diseases. So this is why I'm big on health too, because I know firsthand how you eat, how you treat yourself can be life or death. Life or death is in the tongue, and it's not just the words that you speak. It's what you're eating. It's how you think. It's your belief. What do you believe? Do you have a relationship with spirit? Do you have a relationship with God? Do you have a relationship with yourself? Do you love yourself? Do you love yourself enough to do better by yourself, by your body? You do better by your body, and your body will do better by you. So it says, with which the earthly mother crowned his body. Surely this must have been a prophecy of the 20th century. But if the erring Son of Man be sorry for his sins and undo them, to undo them is to cleanse and purify the thoughts, emotions, habits, and our bodies. And return, I put repent, again to his earthly mother. And if he do this, his earthly mother's laws, and if he do his earthly mother's laws and free himself from Satan's clutches, resisting his temptation, then does the earthly mother receive again her erring son with love, and sends him her angels that they may serve him. Y'all ever heard of ministering angels? Yeah. I tell you truly, when the Son of Man resists the Satan that dwells in him and does not his will, in the same hour are found the mother's angels there, that they may serve him with all their power and free utterly the Son of Man from the power of Satan. So when it says Satan that dwells in him, that's your lower self. That's your ego. Ego keeps you in fear. Your lower self keeps you in fear. It keeps you eating the things that your flesh desires. It has you keep going backwards instead of forward. So it says, could it be that Satan refers to mankind's misuse of his or her creative power of thoughts and feelings? And that the mother's angels are the healthy use of mankind's creative power of thoughts and feelings? Whether it is symbolic, as I have suggested, or actual evil and divine beings, matters little to my way of thinking. The results would be the same. So it says right here, it's getting a little hot. For no man can serve two masters. For either he serves Beelzebub and his devils, or else he serves our earthly mother and her angels. Either he serves death or he serves life. I tell you truly, Happy are those who do the laws of life and wander not upon the paths of death. For in them the forces of life wax strong, and they escape the plagues of death. So the earth gives you life. The earth gives you life. The earth reproduces life. Now, yes, it's a cycle of death, life, rebirth, and so on, so on. But you got to understand that it's deeper than is health is so much deeper than what the world has taught us about health. And when it comes to the Bible, when it comes to God accepting animal sacrifices and allowing you to eat certain meats but not eat these certain meats and things, you ever give thought of the contradiction in the Bible to that, and how, okay, by me still eating meat, period, it's still defiling and corrupting the body, my temple, my vessel. So how can that be true? Because when you say that our Bible was tampered and manipulated, and that you knew that Satan was going to form lies against you, even using your own word, then that right there, it can't be true. So that's where your discernment comes in. That's when the Holy Spirit comes in with teaching you and guiding you and leading you towards certain things. So this is a truth that I'm unveiling right now. All right. So it says, I'm going to go on to, it was another page I wanted to read to you guys. And I'm not judging. I'm not judging because I've been there. I've ate meat, and I loved eating that meat in that time of my ignorance of not knowing. But now I know better. So now I'm doing better, and I'm teaching, helping you guys do better. All right. So it says here, the body can and must be healed through the mind, and that the mind can and must be healed through the body. Very few doctors have realized how thoughts and emotions are stored in the body and actually control every system and function, even the immune system. Even fewer have learned how to extract the emotions that produce dis-ease in our bodies. So I'm going to stop right there. Negative self-talk creates dis-ease. When you look in the mirror and you call yourself fat, or you say I'm ugly and things like that, you're bringing about disease. When you're speaking negatively about yourself, even about other people, you're bringing that onto yourself. So even when God say, judge not, lest you be judged, that's to say too, when you're judging people outwardly, you're really internally judging yourself. You're judging yourself also, and that's the judgment that comes upon you because your own conscience judge you. Your own intuition, it tells you, you know, why you talking about them, or you shouldn't be talking about them, or what about you, you know, da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, my nose, y'all. All right. So it says, this is a field new to the world, and one that I have focused upon for many years. In several cases, I have seen almost instantaneous healings by simply removing stuck emotions from the body. My experiences have closely revealed that unresolved emotions are the root cause of most, if not all, disease, and that becoming totally free of the unresolved emotions and inharmonious thoughts may produce extraordinary health, longevity, and happiness. These concepts also explain why one medicine will work for one person and not the other. For consciousness, not chemistry, produces the final outcome. Its implications on a spiritual level are endless. As Jesus said, "Hearken unto me, therefore, not only unclean things entering into the body of man defile the man, but much more do evil thoughts and unclean, which pour from the heart of man, defile the inner man, and defile others also. Therefore take heed to your thoughts, and cleanse your hearts, and let your food be pure. So, I'm gonna read this other part to you guys too. This is the gospel of the perfect life, 43:14. The gospel of the perfect life is also known as the gospel of the Holy 12. It is considered the most accurate and authentic New Testament available. There is little question that the Bible used by Orthodox Christianity has been altered to meet the designs of those who wish to control the Christian movement. There is evidence that the gospel of the perfect life was used by Saint Francis, who read from it each morning and evening. Compared to the modern New Testament, it is highly inspiring and uplifting. It is full of powerful suggestions to encourage one towards love and responsibility. Jesus had predicted that his words would be altered and misused. He said, "But there shall arise after you men of perverse minds, who shall through ignorance and through craft suppress many things which I have spoken unto you, and lay to me things which I never taught, sowing tares among the good wheat which I have given you to sow in the world." That's from the Gospel of Perfect Life, 44:7. Various church fathers knew of this particular manuscript of Jesus' life, for it is mentioned various times throughout history, but the manuscript managed to disappear and reappear over and over. Indeed, this book is obviously a serious threat to those who wish to control and manipulate mankind, especially Orthodox Christianity. This book has been available to the public for over 100 years, yet is only known by a few. Other ancient manuscripts about life and sayings of Jesus have also been kept from the public. The Nag Hammadi manuscripts found in Egypt in 1945, the Dead Sea Scrolls discovered in an ancient Essene community called Kibbutz Kuarin in 1947, and the Gospel of Jesus Christ series still in the Vatican. Why are they hiding the manuscripts? What are they so afraid of? Seek and you shall find out. So that's why I told you guys, for me, I seek this stuff out. I do. And I compare. Because it's certain things also that Jesus taught that's not all in the Bible, that's beneficial to our health, to our livelihood, and to all. Okay? So it says, in terms of achieving my personal goals of unconditional love and joy and non-judgment, I have found that in the last 2 years, I have made more progress than in the last 30 years. Why? Because of the releasing of so many unconscious conflicts within myself, and because of the work I have been doing with my liver. For the liver seems to be a doorway into our storehouse of emotions. So, like I said before, all of our organs has to be cleansed. Our whole body has to be cleansed in order for us to become pure, in order for us to become crystallized, light. So it says right here, the problems with eating meat. You may now understand why the great philosophers and spiritual geniuses of antiquity practiced fasting, and often for 40 days or more. They realized that darkness in their own consciousness inhibited their potential exalted states of consciousness, meaning they fasted to get rid of the darkness that was in them because it was inhibiting them from going up higher in their awareness, higher in their thinking, higher in their consciousness. What is this darkness? Hold on. And that darkness was anchored to the filth in their own bodies. The dark thoughts of hate, anger, fear, etc. profoundly inhibit love, joy, peace, and enlightenment. As long as the dark, unresolved issues remain within us, a heavy weight holds us low. Herein is the key as to why the great spiritual genius would never indulge in the barbaric act of semi-cannibalistic consumption of innocent creatures of God, for the negative feelings of fear, hate, and death vibrate throughout the animal as it is being murdered. Who would want to acquire and assimilate that? So I'm going to pause right there and give my commentary. So let me just say this. When you eating meat can open up more doors to you eating more meat because of that lust, of that craving to try new and different things. So okay, you eat fish, you eat chicken, you eat cow, which is beef, you eat pig, which is pork, then you eat the lamb, then you may want to taste some squirrel, some gator, some frog, some buffalo, some octopus, you know, and it just keep going. Then you'll try and get your protein from anywhere. You'll kill and eat anything. A dog, a cat, like they doing over there in China, Vietnam, wherever, where they're eating all type of shit. And I be seeing some of that stuff pop up on YouTube. It's crazy. So, okay. Let me just skip around and say right here. Animals and humans acquire the consciousness of whatever is within that which they eat. If we eat an animal, we actually absorb a portion of the animal's consciousness, and it integrates with our own. Its fear, anger, resentment, and its limitations. As you can see, the old saying that we are what we eat does have significance. So it jumped down. I'm gonna just jump down right here. It say, it took me 1 year after I quit eating meat in 1971 and several fasts before I finally rid myself of an anxiety associated with subtle fear and anger and the seeming inability to find peace within myself. If you're still a meat eater and think you're happy, give up eating meat for a year and a half. No, give up eating meat for a year and 1/2 cleanse or fast a few times, and you will find a peace and happiness you never knew existed. Not only that, but many people will learn more about how to love. For the willingness to murder the innocent creatures of God, for unnecessary gluttony of ingesting animal flesh, and for the selfish appeasement of habits and taste buds, is in direct opposition to a loving and compassionate heart. So it says, how can we ever expect healing or continued health when we willingly choose to steal the life and health of another creature for our own selfish gain. Is there a law of cause and effect? Do we reap that which we sow? Is there a law of karma? Is it true that for every action there is a reaction? So I'm going to just jump right here. It says, Jesus said, and as they have sown in one life, so shall they reap in another. So that's like reincarnation. That's okay, I'm in this form right now. In this lifetime, this is who I am. But in another lifetime, I can be somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm gonna skip down here. I'm gonna skip right here. It say, Jesus said, behold, I manifest myself unto you in all created forms. And verily I say unto you, insomuch as ye have done it unto the least of these, my brethren, you have done it unto me. This is quoted from the Gospel of Perfect Life, 67:10. He also said in verse 19, verse 6, raise the stone, and there thou shalt find me. Cleave the wood, and there am I. For in the fire and in the water, even as in every living form, God is manifest as its life and its substance. So, jumping down here, it says, the Gospel of Perfect Life reports that Jesus also said, I am come to end the sacrifices and feasts of blood. And if ye cease not offering and eating of flesh and blood, the wrath of God shall not cease from you, even as it came to your fathers in the wilderness, who lusted for flesh, and they eat to their content, and were filled with rottenness, and the plague consumed them. This is from the Gospel of Perfect Life, 21 verses 8. So, there you go again. This is hidden. Why is it hidden? Because the world want to keep you eating meat, while God want to set you free from eating meat. And he has given us the power and the tools to set ourselves free from meat, from the afflictions and plagues that eating meat causes. So yeah, Jesus want to set you free from acne, from being on dialysis, high blood pressure, leukemia, all this stuff. But it's due to your willingness to continue to eat that stuff as to why these plagues continue to come. So plagues are not just locusts and an infestation of something, or natural disasters. Plagues is also boils, rashes, all this stuff. So yeah, y'all, I just wanted to share that with y'all. I don't want this video to be too long. You can go to pdfdrive.com and type in you can type in the Gospel of Peace and the other books that he mentions in here, and you can download them as PDF form so you can read it for yourself. But this is the book, Cleanse and Purify Thyself. It's by Richard Anderson. I'll have it in my description or whatever, but that's the revelation that I got, is we got to stop eating meat. We got to come back to nature, like I've been saying, and we have to cleanse and purify internally as well as our external world. But we have to get back to self, get back to God, get back to who we truly are. And how we get there is through our heart. So when we eat living foods, when we eat raw foods, that's how we can get back to God. Because when you're eating raw foods, you're eating directly from source. You're eating directly from nature. You're getting all the proper nutrients and information and love that you need. And when you're creating your raw foods, it's an intimate engagement. Because you're engaging with what you're eating. You're touching your foods with your hands. You're pouring love into it. And then you're playing with different colors. These different colors help awaken different things within you. That's why I tell y'all about the chakras. Don't be all spooked about that stuff. That stuff don't just come from Hinduism and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It first come from God. Because all out in nature, you see color. You see light spectrums. You see rainbows. It's another book I want to show you guys real quick. This is the other book. Spiritual Nutrition and the Rainbow Diet. This talks about raw food. This talks about so much. So I'm going to show you guys this diagram right here. And this confirms what I've been saying to you guys about us being light. About us being crystallized. I'm going to have to flip the camera. Okay, so you see the sun? You see the sun. The sun gives off energy, light. Our cells, our organs, all digest this light. It all takes in this light. This is how a person can be a breatharian or solitarian, because you're taking in the energy and nutrients from the sun. So the foods that we eat carry this vital life force. The raw foods carry this vital life force. Okay? And even in the Gospel of Peace, I got it as a PDF and I read some of it. Jesus even tell you, basically, in other words, to get your ass butt naked out here. Lay out in the sun. Lay out in the grass, ass naked, so you can get that sun on you. So you know how you go out and you tan, but you still got the thong on and, you know, the bathing suit because you're in public. But, you know, like in private, in your backyard or whatever, get naked. Walk around bare feet. Get back connected. So, of course, they took that stuff out the Bible and they don't teach it in church because it's a part of the program to keep you in that program. So, okay, chlorophyll and plant life. Chlorophyll and plant life. The chlorophyll is the greens, vegetation. So you see energy transfer in the stomach. This is a whole energy transfer right here. Okay? Check this diagram out. See how it's all connected? You are a walking transmitter and receiver. You can receive energy and light and messages from the divine and be a vessel, a channeler, a transmitter for the divine. Or you can be a channel for Satan, for darkness. Look at that. Don't let people keep you from becoming your crystallized self. So even when the Bible says study to show thyself approved, you have to be the one to come into knowledge. You have to be the one to gain understanding. That's why I tell y'all, if God is instructing you to do something, to read something, to go somewhere or wherever, do it. Do it. Look at that pineal body. It's in you. Look at this one. Electromagnetic. That's the earth. So through your feet, you're pulling in energy from the earth, healing from the earth. That's why you walk the earth barefoot. Cosmic energy coming through your whole chakra system. Your food, the breath, sunlight, direct cosmic energy coming in through your crown. This is the downloads that you receive, the light codes that you receive. We have to have sun, and we have to exercise breathing exercises, breathing techniques. And we have to eat the right food to assimilate this cosmic energy to become direct light beings and vessels for the Most High. So yeah, I just wanted to share those revelations with you guys, and I'm gonna be sharing more with you guys further on, but this video has already been long enough. So yeah, I'll talk to y'all in my next video. Peace.
I didn't know nothing about vegetarian. I never heard the word. In 1960, you go to the health food store and see how many African Americans you see coming in. Black folks would come up, well, how come you don't eat steak? Because cows don't eat steak. The meat you eat don't eat meat, huh? In 1960, they thought I was crazy.